the adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, enjoying a bowl of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy bland cereal, and wearing the official Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Blackfist biters.
Welcome to Pierce Brothers Memorial here in Westwood, and right behind me is Mr. Tim Conway, and the name might not ring bells right away, but take my word for it, this man has been part of my childhood and all of yours, I'm absolutely sure. Of course, the thumbnail gives it away, but this is none other than the legendary Barnacle Boy, half of the dynamic duo. So, we know them as Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, as does everyone else in the SpongeBob world, right? But, fun fact, did you know that they actually have real names in the show? Like how Bruce Wayne is Batman, they have a Bruce Wayne name. And that absolutely blew my mind. I had no idea up until today. So from 1999 up until today, when I was doing a little bit of extra research, come to find out that they actually have like their, real names. But even though we refer to them as Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and everyone else does, we know who they are. They actually, they somehow, some way just go through their whole lives being called their superhero names. But Barnacle Boy's name is actually Tim Strangler. Now, I don't know if that name is actually used in any of the episodes. I have to do a little more research on that. But the SpongeBob Wiki did confirm it, that his name is actually Tim Strangler. Now, when we go visit Ernest Borgnine, then I will give you Mermaid Man's, but of course that comes after Mr. Conway here, after my young ward here. Now, I don't have any extra portions of broccoli to give the young ward here, but in order to help Mermaid Man keep the young boy nice and strong, to fight crime and keep you and me safe from the Dirty Bubble and Man Ray, I brought him Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy bran flakes, because the young boy does need his extra vitamins.
Make sure you give extra broccoli to my young ward. The boy needs his vitamins.
Here you go, son.
So let's give the boy his extra vitamins. To Ernest Borgnine, away!
To the table, away!
Careful! Don't run!
A few moments later.
Welcome to Forest Lawn here in the Hollywood Hills, and we find ourselves pretty much at the tip top of the cemetery. It doesn't seem like you can go any further up without actually, climbing into the hills. But nevertheless, we're here with the one and only Ernest Borgnine, better known to you and me as, of course, Mermaid Man. Okay, so here we are on Ernest Borgnine's memorial bench, and I've kind of decided to go on a little freestyle here, instead of being a little scripted like I kind of usually am. I kind of freestyle here and there, but I kind of try to script as much as I can. But I feel like going a little freestyle right now. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent here and there, so this might go on for a few minutes, but hopefully, I make it entertaining, you stick around. But Ernest Borgnine is said to be buried here. I have read, or I have seen, that people say that he is not here, but with some of the research that I've done, come to find out that I think he is actually buried here. His ashes are interred underneath this memorial bench that his family had placed here for him. And the reason I think this, what leads me to believe this, is because he has a burial ID on Find a Grave. Not to mention that they do say that he is buried here. So I would definitely be of the opinion, or more, I guess, aiming toward fact that he is indeed right here buried underneath his memorial bench. So when you come visit, or if you ever come visit, which you should, just know that chances are that he is actually here. Now, Mermaid Man was voiced by Ernest from the beginning of SpongeBob in 1999 all the way up until his death in 2012. Now, funny enough, in some of the video games between that time, apart from the PS1 versions of games. Anything, it seems that anything from like PlayStation 2 and beyond just didn't have Borgnine voicing Mermaid Man, which is really odd when you play them. Now, the actors tried their hardest to emulate Borgnine's voice, but you just can't. Because Borgnine has such a unique and distinctive voice that's his own. It's not like he's making this voice up. This is legit his voice. So when you hear him in interviews, when you hear him anytime he speaks, all you can see is Mermaid Man. It is absolutely hilarious. Like, they couldn't have picked a better person to voice Mermaid Man.
Good, and thank you. There's a little bunch of Girl Scouts out there that bought a lot of cookies for the boys in Iraq. Would you mind saying hello? No, not at all. This lady is saying, and this man has made a lot of pictures and done this and done that, and he's very. And I said, how many of you have seen my pictures? They all looked at me and said, nothing, zilch. Suddenly I had a brainstorm. I said, how many of you know SpongeBob? Yes! I said, well, I happen to play Mermaid Man. I was in. They came around, they took pictures, they couldn't get enough of me, And then, of course, I had to give them the email. And that was it.
Now, with Tim Conway, like I said, Barnacle Boy's name is Tim Strangler. And his Bruce Wayne name is Tim Strangler. And Mermaid Man's is actually Ernie Huckler. Yeah, so Ernie Huckler is his name, his Bruce Wayne name, I guess, to his Mermaid Man, which is really odd because in the whole, like I said with Tim Conway, the whole run of the show up until today, from 99 to today, I had no idea that they had names apart from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. And I'm not sure if that's actual canon because I've never heard it in the shows. I've never heard them use the names in the show, but I have to do some research because now I'm very curious. I am very curious as to whether or not those names are actual canon or not. Now, the way I found those names was through the SpongeBob wiki. I was doing a little bit of research, of course, and those names popped out, that those are their real names in world. So I don't know. I gotta do in editing. Hopefully I can put whether it's true or not here. And if I do, maybe I can find a clip where they do use the names, and hopefully I do. And I'll throw them in here, of course, just so we can, settle the debate once and for all, if there ever was a debate, because I'm pretty sure none of you really knew that they had names apart from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. But that's neither here nor there. Regardless, we are here with Borgnine, and of course I brought him some Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy flakes as well, because we got to make sure he's healthy too to help us fight Man Ray and the Dirty Bubble. And if Barnacle Boy ever joins evil again, we got to make sure we're strong enough to get him back on the side of good. So that's why I brought him his own box of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy flakes. So that concludes our little adventure here in Hollywood. And hopefully you guys had as much fun as I did. I know it's a short video, but I mean, I just wanted to make it, I like to make these videos somewhat reasonable. I'm not trying to go over, too long. But nevertheless, I'm glad I got to show you guys, the voices of our childhood, some of the voices of our childhood, which clearly had a huge impact on us, of course. I mean, look at me, I'm dressed as Patrick and I was dressed as SpongeBob for Tim. So suffice it to say, they were clearly a huge part of my life, not just my childhood, but my life. I mean, we're talking 25 years later and I still absolutely adore SpongeBob. And I want to give you guys a really quick fun fact before we go. Actually, if you didn't know this, Glendale, or not Glendale, why did I say Glendale? I meant the Hollywood Hills, Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills. There are so many people here to come and visit, but if you come up the hill where I'm at, this is pretty much the tip top of the hill, right above the church. If you're up here, you're probably gonna see the most celebrities that are within us, within walking range of each other. They're pretty much, hugged up on one another. Give an example. We got Ernest Borgnine, of course. If we walk down about 100 feet that way, we end up at David Carradine, who is Bill from Kill Bill. If we cross over his side, we got John Witherspoon, who is Willie Jones from the Friday series. If you go to the left of him, you got Brittany Murphy. If we cross the street right over here, we got Paul Walker, we got Aaron Carter, Bill Paxton, Bob Kane, who is the creator of Batman. We also have John Singleton, which I love. I got to see him yesterday, which is awesome because he made Baby Boy and Boys in the Hood. And Baby Boy is one of my favorite Hood movies of all time. I mean, there's so many here to see. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. If you go down the hill that way, you got Carrie Fisher, you got Michael Clark Duncan, Debbie Reynolds, Liberace. There's so many down there. Oh, Matthew Perry. There's just so many to name. Oh, Lee Van Cleef, which is one of my favorites here to visit. Lou Rawls. So if you're ever here and you're gonna come visit a cemetery, come visit Westwood Memorial and come visit Forest Lawn in Hollywood Hills, not Glendale, Hollywood Hills. And I promise you, just gonna blow you away. But yeah, just wanted to share that really quick. Oh, and one more thing before we go. Did you know that in one of the season 7 episodes of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, the young versions of them are actually voiced by Adam West and Burt Ward, who voiced the original Batman and Robin, who Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are based on? So it's like meta on meta. Yeah, so just a fun fact for you. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys around.